As you're probably aware, Volkswagen means people's car, and indeed VW do have a car for pretty much everyone. For those who want something practical, there's the Golf. For those who want something a little bit racy, there's the Scirocco. And now for those who fancy a little bit of retro, there's the new Beetle. Unlike its rounded predecessor, this one looks more like the 21 million selling original Beetle, which incidentally was commissioned as the first people's car back in the 1930s by no other than Adolf Hitler. Anyway, moving swiftly on, the retro design continues inside with a flat-faced dash. However, the sporty steering wheel and racy dials add a modern touch, as do all the robust controls which are logically laid out. There's decent practicality here in the front of the Beetle. For instance, as well as the normal glove box, you've got a dash glove box like on the original car, which is big enough to hold an umbrella. You also got a place for your keys on top of the dash, another storage area down here. There's one in the centre armrest, and I would like to complain about the Beetle's door bins because they're about that wide, but they've found a way to get around the classic CarBuyer bottle test by using some industrial grade knicker elastic. As for equipment, well, all cars get 6 airbags, ESP anti-skid control, air conditioning and DAB digital radio. In terms of options, you can equip the car with a Fender sound system. As part of the package, you get some mood lighting, which lets you change the lights around the speakers from white to blue or to red. But of course, the big addition are some extra speakers, such as these Fender tweeters, which makes your tunes sound a little bit more. You'll be able to get the Beetle with either a manual or an automatic gearbox. Personally, I go for the manual, and there's a choice of petrol and diesel engines. But for me, the best one is the one in this car. It's a 1.2 litre TSI. And I know what you're thinking, 1.2, it's going to be a little bit slow, but not at all. It's actually got a turbocharger fitted to it, and so it's got plenty of punch actually. And because it's small, you get good economy. It'll return 47 miles per gallon, and the engine itself is very smooth, and that plus the fact you've got great all-round visibility considering the car's design means this car is actually very easy to drive in town. Out on the open road, the Beetle may not be quite as agile as the Mini, but it's still good fun nonetheless. The steering is accurate and it's got a nice weighty feel to it. There's plenty of grip, and you can throw the thing at corners and it just doesn't lean at all. However, that brings me on to this car's downsides. And while it may be based on the Golf, all but the range-topping 2 litre model has slightly cruder rear suspension. And as a result, while it is comfortable, it does skip about a bit over bumps in the road. You also get a little bit of wind noise just about here at speeds of over 60 miles an hour. That's especially annoying because it's right in your ear hole. What's also annoying is the fact that if you want this colour-coded interior trim, which of course you do, you have to step up to the Desire model, which is about £2,500 more than the base model. And that brings me on to the materials themselves, because they're all hard, brittle plastics. In fact, those using the Polo feel posher. Now, why is that, VW? Why? However, the biggest problem with the Beetle is its limited practicality. For starters, the car is of course only a 3-door, which makes it harder to get into the back. And as you'll notice, there's only 2 seats in the rear. Plus, when you are finally in place, knee room is really tight and headroom isn't particularly great either. And you've got to be careful not to hit your head off the boot hatch because that hurts. And then there's the boot itself. Now, it's actually a decent size, but the sloping tailgate means that you can't put very tall items in here. And when you fold the seats down, you'll notice there's a big ridge here, so you can't slide heavier items straight to the back. But let's face it, you don't buy a car like this as a removals van or to use as a taxi. You buy it to look cool, and it manages to do that compared to its retro rivals like the smaller Mini and even smaller Fiat 500 with fewer compromises.